Let me say good Tuesday morning to one and all, and how are you doing this morning? Hope all is well with you. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. Today being Tuesday, the 24th day of October, 2023. Let me say good morning to my listeners, those of you via Classic Radio 105.5 or 105.9. Good morning, viewers, GBN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channels 20, or online listeners and viewers via social media audience, the Facebook page, YouTube channels, GBN's webpage, gbn.gd. Good morning, welcome once again, and hope all is well with you. Usually on Tuesdays, we do entertain, of course, a representative from the opposition here in Grenada, and we have no one representing the opposition this morning on the program, which means we have to just make a bit of a change in terms of the lineup this morning, which means we're going to have an open line edition for you this morning, which means you are listeners of it. Feel free to give me that call, 435-2041. That's the number to get in contact with me. You could also send me a message via the WhatsApp, which this is the same number, 435-2041. You can also send your message or a comment via the Facebook page, also the comment section. Post a message there if you do have something a bit of a concern to you. So it's an open line this morning. Feel free, give me that call, 435-2041. I've just cleared up the line, so which means it's okay for you to give me that call. And let's get into the conversation this morning. Not sure what's the subject line. I'm going to leave that to you, listeners and viewers, this morning in terms of the subject line that you'd like to go at. And feel free to do so. Let's entertain our first caller this morning. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Oh, yes, good morning to you, GT, and how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you this morning?
I hope I could hold back this morning because I think the wicket is sticky.
All right, let's hear you.
Okay, now I have a concern, serious concern. Listening to the news, in your news, we are about to borrow some money from one of the state. Is it Kuwaiti? One of the Kuwaiti funds or where? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. However, that's a little bit of money. And I'm wondering, what are we taking this money to do? What is the asset or collateral we put up to get this money? And what is the line item that this money is going to, specific line item that this money is going to do? And what is the interest rate? And would that impact on our food bill, the cost of living? Would it cause increased taxes? I want answers now to these questions, because I feel, we must allow this country's revenue source, which is commerce, to do what it's supposed to do. If every time we have to do a small amount of work, we have to go and look for loans, we know what loans it's going to do. Do we have the ability to pay back when this loans bill up in the sum that will be? Do we have the means to pay it back? So I'm concerned that we are not building and growing the economy, putting into doing what we need to do, even in small quantities. Every time we have to do something, we have to go out there and get loans. I have a problem with that, sir. And I am looking for answers, very serious answers this morning.
But have you ever contemplating how a government will be able to finance projects and so forth if they don't do such at times?
Yes, I am aware because I work with government for some time. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And I took certain measures when I was working with government to raise revenue. Think outside of the box. How do government raise funds outside of increasing taxes that will cause high food prices? So you think like the private sector. So every employee, and as our senior employee here, should come with an idea from outside of the tax system, how government could raise funds. Yeah? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that you don't have to increase taxes all the time. But we're not doing this. We're thinking within the box. Every time government have to do something, okay, well, we have to go for taxes. We have to increase land prices, land taxes, etc. We have to stop this thing. We have to grow the economy pertinent to creating revenue. Yeah? Yes. Not every time we need to do something, we have to run for taxes. I know government need monies, but they shouldn't get the money since when we just loans. In the 50s and 40s, and were we going for loans that way? No. No, we run this country based on the strength of the economy. So why haven't we grown the economy so that at this point in time, the economy will be strong enough for us to take a $10 million, $20 million and do our local things?
Caller, with the state of the economy today as it is, how do you see as an individual who has spent some time in government, as you mentioned before, what ideas do you have or you would like to share if it's possible?
I do it in writing.
Mm-hmm.
I do it to the point. I do it in personal discussion with these politicians from Prime Minister right down. I said, look, you have an economy, you have infrastructure, which is a foundation for extended commerce. The state of some of our road is bad. The new roads where we need to get at new lands is non-existent. We're not making effort to. How do you want the private sector to expand if you're not bringing these services? So you need the road, you need the water, you need the electricity. Let them look for places to extend their business, right? To create business, to build an industry. We have to do those things. Those are the things we have to do. Infrastructure is key. No, we need to get our equipment because the equipment we have here, we can't pay them when we hire them. It's going to be cheaper buying our own. I just submit, because a company submit a bill, a pro forma invoice to the Prime Minister, the Minister of Agriculture, the Line Minister, Minister of Economic Affairs, and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works. I give them this pro forma so they will see the things they need and to see if they could procure it. We have sufficient people in Grenada here to do roads. We don't have to import people to do roads. One drum of fuel and a pail of hydraulic fluid doing miles of road. We have the drivers here. We have the scientists, the people who could build roads here. Why are we, every time we have to build a road, a 2-mile road, we have to get somebody from outside feasibility study and all this nonsense? No, we have to get away from that. We have to start running this country.
All right.
We can't continue running the country where we're running it. Come on, where are we going? Cost is rising. We can't create jobs. You know, people have no place to go anywhere because the world is jammed. We have to stay here to develop. Our leaders need to be serious.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, and certainly hope that individuals out there within the administration are listening and certainly understand where you're coming from and make the necessary adjustments. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings. I trust that all is well with you.
Yes, sir. All is well.
Hallelujah. Now let's go, Mr. You know, I won't dwell very much on this one, but I want to share at least some of the views of your last caller. We're going to borrow $100 million US. Why do we borrow? Nothing wrong with borrowing. Of course, it was one time said it's not borrowed, not issues, or we can pay back. But you know something which pains me? Today we have to borrow to do things in our country. But over the past couple of years and months, this country has been losing chunks and chunks of 50 million, 25 million, and otherwise 75 million, and who knows what, because of bad management and irresponsibility and corruption. And that component, Mr. Telesford, is showing no signs of being cleaned up. So until when? This is a loud discussion which have continue. But I want to dwell with two other matters this morning, Mr. Telesford. If you would permit me, I'm usually brief and to the point.
Go right ahead, sir. Go right ahead.
One. Only yesterday morning, there was a discussion on, of course, some people touched on what is happening in Palestine, the territory of Palestine. And there was an argument coming from certain circles that when you summarize what was said from various callers, 3 or 4 I should say, is that, quote unquote, listen to me well, God endorses what is happening in Palestine. Why? Because God gave the land from the Red Sea, Mediterranean, to the Euphrates, to the Israelites. Hear this, Mr. Telesford and Grenadians. I want you to understand that in Israel today, not of the Israelites, not Judea and Samaria, but Israel of today, to say Jesus Christ, where Christ means Messiah, is a curse. Christians who say it are spattered, insulted. Yes, the same Jesus Christ, that the same quote-unquote God sent on this earth, as we all believe, axiomatically, yes. But we believe that Jesus Christ, Jesus Messiah, was the Son of God. But they hate the Son of God up to today. They killed the Son of God. The Jews killed God. That is written. It is written, it's not my invention. Mr. Telesford, it begs the question, therefore, is this God that endorses what the Israeli, that criminal, Zionist, Messianic, and all other adjectives that can be, people are doing to the Palestinians on their own land, is that endorsed by God? Therefore, is that the God we worship, Grenadians, Christians, and whatever other religion? I want to leave that little lollipop there pending, so we'll continue to suck on it and see what happens. Finally, we have heard in the discussion to whitewash the issue and the struggles of the Palestinian people against the Israeli criminal Israeli government, that anytime you criticize Israel, you are quote-unquote anti-Semitic. I want to clarify the air on this. And I don't have to go back to any dictionary today for this. Because I remember on top of that hill in the Grenada Boys Secondary School in the latter part of the 1960s, when the war in that place, the 6-Day War, was fought, etc., etc., and the question with the boundary. We discussed this at school because right there was a library. We used to do little things. And I remember today more than ever. Listen, the Lord knows what he did to me, getting me blind, you know. Listen, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Telesford, these things just come back to me. Listen. The word anti-Semitic, Grenadians, come from the word Semite. S-E-M-I-T-E. Now, what is a Semite, to go a little faster? A Semite is anyone within the area of West Asia, Horn of Africa, North Africa, known nicely as the Middle East, which speaks one of or more of these 5 languages. Listen well. It's interesting to hear that the first is Hebrew. All right, hallelujah. Those who live in Israel speak Hebrew. Arabic, brothers and sisters, Arabic, the third being Amharic. The Horn of Africa, so Ethiopia, these people speak Amharic and Phoenician. If you speak one or more of these languages, you are a Semite. No. Tell me some, check it out, brothers and sisters. Is it only criticisms of the Israeli people of today that is anti-Semitic? No. The way they treat the Palestinian people is worse than anti-Semitic. The Palestinians are Semites too. Let's get it straight. Argue with me. Bring your argument from a dictionary. I don't mind what the dictionary has today, but that is what I learned back then. It hasn't changed. So when they come, and the word Semitic comes from Semite. We know it as a predicative, an attributive adjective. Take off the E, put on ITIC, and there it is. Anti, against Semitism. In other words, against what is related to the Semites. Suck that little lollipop too and see when they come with all the fancy thing that God gave them this and it's anti-Semite. No, the criminal action against the Palestinian people is anti-Semitic too. Before I get warmed up here this morning, have a nice day, Mr. Telesford.
Have a good day yourself, sir. 435-2041, 435-2041. Interesting opinion share there. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome and good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
The caller before the last,
yes,
is absolutely correct in all that he said. The situation is, anytime we have to do something in Grenada, a project or something like that, or even we have to build a full cube, we are borrowing money. This is totally ridiculous. Because any country that is borrowing money at that rate, and that is going on for years now, not only this present administration, when you borrow money, you saddle the country in debt, and therefore the country cannot develop. We have to pay close attention. All the economists and them, let them understand that. You cannot borrow money, increase your debt to how many $1 billion, and therefore expect the country to make any progress. That will never happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution. We probably take a break in this segment. When we come back, we do entertain more of your calls. It's an open line edition of To The Point here this morning. It's Tuesday, the 24th day of October, the day before the holiday. We'll be right back after the break.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the number one.
You know, one day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
You mentioned the wing high, then you have things like manual boss come back, We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Tuesday, the 24th of October. Let's entertain a couple of the comments. Let's go to the WhatsApp before we take over for another call. This individual via the WhatsApp is saying, tell the caller, if everyone pays their due taxes, the government will make little or no loans, or will have a little or no loans. Just about every country does the same. And that's what one individual via the WhatsApp is saying. What else? Let's take another comment via the WhatsApp this morning. I agree with the caller. I was made to believe that Lotto was a means for developing the nation, but instead it's making a few people wealthy and depleting people's pocket. And I can't see where the nation is being helped by a Lotto. So we have the money right here to do it. Let's entertain another caller, and then I'll go to the Facebook page. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning to you, sir.
Sir, what did they call them? The occupied West Bank.
Why
occupied West Bank?
Well, I'm assuming they have. Well, 435-2041. 435. Before I go, could you entertain that caller? Let's take some more comments. What a way to be distracted. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, sir. The question of other countries borrowing money. Now, other countries have resources. Quite a lot of resources. Some of these countries have quite a lot of resources. So therefore, they can pay back the loan without damaging the people. We have no resources here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution. 435-2041. 435-2041. And trying to get some of the comments there. For most of the comments on the Facebook is just general conversation. I don't think it needs to be repeated. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
It's not borrowing money is not a problem. We have to borrow money and use the money to generate income from the money that we borrow. Do something with it. In other words, use the money or work the money so we can generate an income to pay back the loan that we borrow. So I have no problem with borrowed money. Everybody borrows money. I mean, you can't just have all the money you want to do what you want at the time, so you borrow. That's what banks and institutions are there for. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number to give you that call if you want to get on live this morning here on To The Point and make your contribution. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
So I guess the complex part of this is, what are they doing with all of the income from the CBI and the passports? They are selling passports. We're in the news for selling so many passports that the Grenada passport is now under scrutiny, and many millions of dollars on the CBI. If we're having all of that coming in, why are we still borrowing? Are politicians enriching themselves with this CBI passport selling? It makes no sense. Where is that income coming, and why are we still borrowing? We need accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution also. 435-2041. 435. Let me say good morning to those of you via our social media platform, especially the Facebook page. Good morning to Antonio. I will certainly get to the comments. I will get to the comments via the Facebook. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Right. My point I'm making on the Palestine issue there. Let me say something. It's because the Jews disobey and they still disobeying God, right? The fact is that within the firstborn, that's why they feel they should have the whole of Israel. That with Sarah and Agar, where she could have a child and whatnot. And the fact is that God told the Jews to get rid of the Philistines, get rid of all, leave no stone unturned. He said, if you don't do that, they go multiply and want to take your land from you. And I promise you this land, from Lebanon to the Euphrates River. But the Jews themselves disobey and go and marry the Arabs. And this is what happened today. All now they disobey, you know. They are disobeying all now. Another thing with the loans, you must borrow. Sometimes you don't have the money as much as the projects. But what I want to see when they borrow, if they go build a factory to produce like guava juice and all them things, because we have them thing wasting. It's wasting. The government is going ahead good, right? Reverend Deacon is going ahead good proper of the country. Make Grenadian educated, and that's why you have no free education and whatnot in college, right? I compliment him for that. They are doing well. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, caller, for your contribution, 435-2041. Let me see if I can grab some of the comments. And let's take it off with this one from Sonia. She's saying, at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves and forget about these people because they have all enslaved the people. That's in her opinion. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning to you, sir.
It's my call. Well, first of all, let me see. The idea of borrowing may not be the idea, but it is also condemned in the Bible. Now, actually, I look around the entire island, and I see most of our land are being neglected. Now, last November, well, I didn't probably say last November because it's over the years, the Minister of Agriculture, George Hezant, and this man made a statement to me, and I feel so embarrassed, even though this man is dead and gone now. I mean, this morning someone spoke of bridge between Marquis and Please that probably is disappearing. Well, there's a fact it is disappearing for the past 20-odd years. And if that bridge really disappears from us, then we have a problem to go up to the trees and what. Last November, I wrote one letter, and I copied it to the two ministers of agriculture for a road, a true road, that goes from Marquis into Post Royal. Now, I have some lands on that road. And as a fact now that because of the farming that I was doing, burning charcoal, I accidentally slipped into pulpit and I lost my life. So I am not a disabled person, suffering with a disability. I don't know if they are using that against me to not pay heed to that road that I'm calling for. George Blizzard, may his soul rest in peace. To tell you, he spoke much about the black gold. And my land produces over 2,000 pounds of nutmeg annually. And right now, I cannot go there because that road is suffering. Talks about borrowing money, going here and there and whatnot, etc. We have to concentrate on what we have. As a matter of fact, I would say, simply put, try to make something out of nothing. The agricultural lands that we have that is going to waste on this country, on this island. And I mean, frankly speaking, I lost a leg. I cannot walk. But you're surprised to realize where I live, and I'm on my bottom, cleaning the road in front of my property. And when I look at the said people who have 2 feet walking past every day and throwing their garbage in front of my house, it gets me angry. We need some tougher laws. The sidewalk is a problem in Song, probably not just the Sturgis Song, but all over. And there it is. I am wondering, why is it that the police or the authorities is not really taken into consideration? People suffering with disability and disability. So we have to get more serious. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution also. 435-2041, 435. Let me grab some comments from the comment section on Facebook this morning. And Tune is saying, well, if the past administration after the invasion didn't sell agro-industry, maybe we would not be boring. Maybe if the oil and gas was produced, one individual, of course, let me move on with that one. And we have this one. I agree with you. On a couple of years ago, an intersection with China, an interaction, I would say, with a Chinese man. The man pulled out a Grenada passport, and then that man could not even speak English. He has never been to Grenada, but he has a Grenadian passport. I'm trying to figure out where that conversation is going. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I saw on the news, they said how people was in front of the fish market in a rally demonstrating against Israel. And yes, we had to be sorry for Israel, but how come we doesn't go in front at the fish market and demonstrate for the order of Silver Sands building a hotel right in Pine Saline, right on the beach, taking away the beach from the local people? Why they don't go and have a rally in front of the fish market for that? Why they don't go and have a rally in front of the fish market for the price of the goods going up? Why they don't go and have a rally in front of the fish market for all them passports they're selling that making it so hard for us to travel? But they're going to have a rally.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435. I can't comment. 435-2041. That's the number if you want to be part of the program this morning. You probably have a contribution you would like to make. Hope it's a positive one also. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GT. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty well, sir. Go right ahead.
GT, the Palestinians and the Israelites, they will never get together. I've been there. I visited the manger. I ride horse, not horse, but camel and Mount Olive. I went from the 4th station to the 14th station. I've been to the tomb and all those kind of things. I've been there. And I'm telling you, when we came from, over there they use most of this Ben as taxi. We took a taxi to reach where the Calvary, to the tomb. And the taxi gave us a paper and he said, look, when you finish, where to go and ask them and they'll show where to meet us. You know, and we just a little border thing. And you know directly the Israelites and the Palestinians and they just together on the other side and they give us the paper to give them to read and say when. And none of the Palestinians don't know what the Israelites had written. And I mean, right there, they can tell us we have to try go many different people until we get one guy say, let me see. And he could have read it and he tell us, well, go north, and that's where you go find those people. They can get together. That's what something it will never stop. Because I see it for my own self. I've been there. I visited tomb. I visited when God said finish, and you go up the thing Calvary, and the blood is there. They cover it with glass. You can't touch it because if everybody touch it, it will disappear. So I see all those areas there, and so I know the people on them, and they can get together. They go do what they want. They go still fight.
Thank you, caller.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number. We still can accommodate another one before we take a break. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I wanted to
Caller, before you continue, whatever device you have in the background, television or radio, please turn it off completely, please.
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Go right ahead, please.
Yeah. Something I want to say with this 1983 with Morris Bishop bodies. I want to let the nation know I would have done it before. I had to meet Dr. Marshall and give him a report. But because of my wife, she said, no, don't do it. Don't put ourselves in fear. But now she died. I could say something. I was one of the investigators with the Caribbean Police, supervised by Superintendent Watson from Barbados. We went down there in Carolina with Atway Funeral Home, with sifters and spade. To every sifter we took out from the hole, we get PRA particles. We got Jacqueline Craft pendant. We got a big piece of flesh, which we suspect it was Norris Bain because he was the biggest one in all of them. My co-investigator, he died now. We are the two police officers that they choose in Grenada to work with the Caribbean police. And I could tell you, I'm hearing all different things taking place about the American go back with boy. He did not have nobody. You had tires, and we were picking up the with coals and different things to put in the sifter. By putting it in the sifter, we get the PRA particles and everything. I want to make that clear to the Grenadian people. That is not true, because the American come how many days afterwards when the body was destroyed. And evidence was given in the High Court by one of their senior PRA, and he certified that. So why they go talking about American go back with body? They must stop it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We drew for a break. Let's take that break. We come back with more of your phone calls and your contribution this morning on today's program. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
up on Caribbean Passport? Food and rum cravings acting up? Well, it's that time of year in Barbados. Over 1,000 runners on the streets of Port of Spain. It's the newest road race challenge, a Pan-As premiere. It's all next on this station.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Those of you via our social media audiences, good morning to you. Or the various platforms, let me say good morning and welcome. Let me go back to the phone line and entertain this caller. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Telesford. Thank you for your indulgences. Just a couple of seconds.
Go right ahead.
Listen,
please.
Grenadians, I'd like you to pay heed. That gentleman, our last caller, did make a significant point and so on his experiences. But hear this. Yesterday, soon after midday, the Washington Post, a very important, prestigious quote-unquote Western media outlet, published the first of a 6-part podcast series called, hear this, The Empty Grave of Comrade Bishop. This is the culmination of a 2-year investigation, serious in-depth investigation relative to the bodies of those who perished on the fort in 1983, the leaders of the country. I invite Grenadians to listen to them. Type in there, The Empty Grave of Comrade Bishop, the Washington Post.
All right.
Mr. Telesford, I advise you to follow this up and so on so that the people can have ideas of what has been discovered in recent times. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you also, call. Have a good one yourself. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning.
I just want to add a little piece. I just want to, maybe for clarification, yeah? No, being in the media, I remembered when the bodies were taken from Calvin, not bodies, and therein lies the error. That's why I decided to call. The remains, is a difference in the bodies and the remains, yeah? The remains were dug up from Calvini, and I clearly remember the newscast on GBN saying there were no bones to match Morris Bishop. So remains that were found, not bodies. People are not looking for bodies today, how many, 40 years. The remains that were found, Mrs. Annie Bain, on more than one occasion, confirmed that her husband's billfold was brought to her. Now, what is this billfold made of? Rock? No. So if the billfold was not burnt, then she could have recognized it. Okay? Right. So, and then again, there were talk about bits of female clothing. So Chalky Vento, when they came from prison, explained, he said the name of the man, but I can't remember. No, he explained that they were in a quandary what to do with all these body parts and so on that were in a bad state, and they couldn't because Mrs. Bain was not letting up. She wanted her husband. She wanted a funeral, and there is talk about she getting to one of the Lacroix, Eric Lacroix, to see if he can mediate, to see if they can give her the remains to have a funeral. Yes, so I am saying that the remains were taken from Calivini, and the medical school took the remains, and one of the men who was in charge of the incinerator now at the medical school, as Father Sean read from the report from the Truth and Reconciliation, they took the remains after they examined and measured and came to a conclusion of whose remains they found there. They put them in the incinerator in Grenada, right here in the medical school incinerator. Yes, that seems to be, as Father Sean said, that seems to be the story. Okay, but I just thought that I should just have people stop saying we're looking for the bodies, yes, because that is causing real confusion. The bodies were not taken. Chalky went to say that this man learned how to preserve bodies in Cuba by smoking them, and he said, I'm not saying whether that is the truth, but I'm saying what he said in an interview. He said that they told him go ahead because they were trying to decide what to do with the bodies, so go ahead and preserve them, and he lit the fire. And then Chalky went to say after a while again they put out the fire. They decided no, and they put out the fire. So hence the reason probably why some things were not burnt beyond recognition. Things like bits of clothing, billfold and so were not burnt beyond recognition. Maybe they were at the bottom of the hole or whatever. Yes?
Right.
I just thought I will add that little piece. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution also. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number if you want to be part of To The Point this morning. And this is a comment here from someone via the WhatsApp. A little bit of a diversion from the regular conversation that we're having. And this person said, I'm a little confused. I went to the passport office to renew my daughter's passport. I had no problem doing so. I asked about getting the grandkids' passports. The question was, were they born in Grenada? I replied, no. Were their parents born in Grenada? I said no. But their mother holds a Grenadian passport because her father and mother are Grenadian. The immigration person said that she needs to be a citizen to hold a Grenadian passport. She has a Grenadian passport for 10 years now. We put in the cart before the horse. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. And you know what the last caller said, It just points to an overall fact, and it's something that I have said time and time again. Not even 3/4, I would say more like at least 7/8 of the issues of things that should have been dealt with that trial after that horrific revolutionary downfall of an experience that we had here in Grenada. At least 7/8 of those things were never dealt with. And when I say dealt with, some of them were never even touched. And that's why you still have floating around in the air. Who is saying what? Who is saying this? Who heard that? Who heard the other? Who so. Proper investigations should have been launched. Now, admittedly, investigations take money. If they are to be properly done, okay.
And you would have thought that would have led us to some sort of a conclusion by now.
Not conclusion, but at least knowing a little more. Knowing a little more than what we know now. Even just a little more. The take, for example, you walk into a shop, and some conversation is struck up, and suddenly the subject of the revolution comes up. CT, you know for yourself. Wow, the passion that infuses that place where you are. It just shows how much we still have burning in us, because we don't know about, we are undecided about, we are disagreeing on, and I think something needs to be returned to.
All right.
I have to admit, I don't know where you would begin, but certain issues, like, for example, those bodies, because those or that topic seems to be coming up again and again and again, something needs to be addressed.
All right.
And I don't know your thoughts on that or the thoughts of other callers. But we have just been going round and round and around since 1983, let's remember. And this is now the year 2023. And the revolution, in some ways, and its demise, is crashing down, is an even more impassionately hot topic than it was back when it actually happened. If that doesn't say it all, I don't know what will. It needs to be dealt with.
All right, man. Thank you so much. And I certainly do understand you and get the direction of your contribution this morning. 435-2041. We got 10 minutes before we wrap today's program here on Classic Radio GBN TV. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Morning, Brother GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, well, I agree with this last caller, but let me tell you this, and I want the nation to listen a little carefully. If this thing really have to resolve, the politician and them have to get involved, because you see, investigation takes money. And for we to get the truth, proper investigation needs to be done. You understand? Because years, about 40 years now, and nobody is saying nothing. Like yesterday, Joseph said, somebody must know. But nobody ain't coming out. There's a set of conspiracy people saying this and saying that. But they're not the truth. Right beyond the truth. Investigation takes money. Time for the authority to put over the money to get a proper investigation if they really want to get to know what happened to Mr. Morris Bishop. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. And folks are passionate about this, and you could definitely feel the passion that a lot of individuals are sharing this morning, and are looking for some way of coming to some kind of resolution. As I said, you're pertaining to this. It's such a passionate subject from time to time. Even though you may not have been part of it in some way or the other, or maybe you were too young to understand what was going on, or you were probably was not on island at the time, but I understand. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning to you.
I sit and I watch the Bob report.
Caller, would you, before you continue, there's a radio or television in the background, a bit of a distraction. Turn it off, please.
Only the television.
Would you turn it off, please? Turn it off completely. Turn the audio off completely, or something of the sort.
Is it good now?
Go right ahead, please.
Right, yes. I watched the Bob report, and there was a gentleman there, I think his name is Charles, and he was speaking about what happened to him, and it was nice hearing it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nice hearing it, because in what advantage? So then last night, to the point, one of the gentlemen...
Last night was not to the point. It was beyond the headlines.
Beyond the point. One of the gentlemen that was there, he was same on the Bob report, and they were speaking. But in my views, you have a lot of people that is alive that know the truth, but is still hiding. All in dead. And they know the gospel truth. Number one, when they take Comrade Bishop from the fort, the people was jumping up and say, we find we leader. The person that was driving the vehicle, he had people know who was driving. If he is not dead yet, he know he was driving. He could come out and say what happened. Why did they bring him on the foot? And number two again, when all the instruments come up on the foot, who gives them the authorities to just shoot? They know what's going on.
All right.
And they're only spinning around. On the 19th, when Comet Bishop wife speak, everybody hear what she say. It was hurting. Come on, man. Miss Belma too. It was hurting. These are Miss Belma. I think she father lost, she sister. I mean, let's come on and let's come together as people and speak the truth. Sometimes, as they say, are you ready for the truth? It does hurt, but let it emulate us. And the gentleman say he meet who he meet, and he tell them he forgive them. But when he talk about the comrade, what was done to him, one had to say, well, this man lying. And then after seeing what happened to him, he come from a mother, the gentleman come from a mother too. So we all have to play a part who know it. As they say, all the people that know us, all in dead yet. And we must be clear. There are people that know they was up there with Bishop who was guiding him. They know what went on. But they're hiding. What they hiding is open now, tell the people the truth. Look, Father Sean speak something, he said what went on and what happened. Why we can't come honest? People not dead yet. That gentleman, the police was speak there maybe.
All right, caller, thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. 445-2041. Just approximately 7 minutes left before we take a wrap for today. We still look at accommodate a couple more calls. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hello?
Caller, your radio or television is too loud. Lower it, please.
Yeah, all right. It's gone now.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. You know, I would like people to understand this business of knowing. You only know something that happens to you personally. That's the only way one could know something. Everything else you hear, you think you know, or you chose to accept it. But knowing is a different story. There's two things in life. You either know or you believe. If you believe, you don't know. Because if you know, you don't have to believe. And to know, as I just said earlier, is when something happens to you personally, you know it. Other than that, you know nothing. Except you want to believe what you hear and you say you know.
Thank you.
I want people to listen to this thing carefully and think of it. Knowing we don't know anything. For that matter, I could safely say that when man came on this earth, he didn't know how this earth was formed. But yet he tell you he knows somebody do it. Thank you.
Thank you. 435-2041. 435-2041. And do have a couple of comments via the Facebook page. So I'm going to entertain them directly after this call. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Going back to the person who called about the revolution, considering how controversial the topic is and how many mixed feelings we have regarding the revolution, the way it ended on October 19th, I think the way they celebrated the first holiday was a bit insensitive. It should have been focused on the innocent people who lost their lives on the fort, following these leaders who were conflicted between power and the people. And these were the people we were supposed to be celebrating, the innocent lives of who that were lost upon the fort. And instead, the rally seemed to be trying to relive the revolution, the failed revolution. It was celebrating Maurice Bishop, and forward ever, backward never was behind every speech. The Cuban flag was there, and it was a reliving of the revolution, a failed revolution, rather than celebrating and honoring and remembering the people who died upon the fort on the 19th. That is what the holiday should have been, not to relive the revolution. I thought it was a big disappointment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also. Thank you very much. And let's take some comments before we entertain another caller. And this person said, "Blessed morning, GT. I think people should forget about these bodies, and they have tried for 40 years without success. Perhaps they meet their God. My advice is for everyone to, of course, it's all and just forge ahead." And we have Antonio saying, "We need to get Glen and others to speak out." And let's go to another comment. Maybe people need to get their hands on this report from the investigation and that were done, because it seems that some people can say what they read or heard. They are now walking around scot-free, as someone is saying there. And the truth don't take sides. Prepare for the truth. Lest at least when it hits you, you of course you branded them with as lies. You brand them or brand them as lies. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
They don't know. They just don't know.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 445-2041. We probably could take another caller 3 minutes before we wrap today's program. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Shady, brother. What's going on, man?
Not too bad, sir. What's up with you?
I'm good.
All right.
I would advise, from listening to the conversation, I would advise people that were the movers and shakers of the revolution to keep their mouth shut. Because it seems like Grenadians are looking for somebody to attack, really and truly. Mm-hmm. And I believe that we're digging announcements that we might come back to bite us. Because the reason I say that is that there are people out here talking about the revolution, and some of them want to hear stuff, and they bring it out. And they call in people's names, and then people that was there, they're not talking because they're afraid people attack them. We don't address that problem. People in this country are living in fear because they were moving and shaking in the revolution, and they are scared that people come back and attack them. So I'm saying that we have to be careful how we address this issue, because this can cause problem in this country.
All right.
Have a nice day, brother.
You too, sir. Have a good one, man. Have a good one yourself. And let's take the truth don't take sides. I think I got that one. The revolution is like a story that have been that has a beginning but never has an ending. That's the reason that there would not be forgiveness, and healing. And final one, the conversation started, and we need to continue with it. Let's take our final caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
They burn most of the bodies, all the bodies in Calivini down there. The bodies and a lot of bodies burned down there. A lot of bodies burned. Tires. Burn them bodies down there. So they had to go down there and take soil and test where they burn the body, take some samples.
All right. Thank you, man.
And okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's about time for us to take a wrap this morning. And let's take a final comment for the WhatsApp, the Facebook this morning. It was a good start and to what will be a yearly event. It reflects that the atmosphere on the ground, 19 October 1983. I want to thank all who contributed to today's program. However you called, you of course sat at home and you listened. You may not have picked the phone up and made a contribution, but there were thoughts that were floating around your mind. I want to thank you a whole lot. Tomorrow, October the 25th, we have a holiday tomorrow. It's called Thanksgiving Day, and give thanks if you kids to do so. I want to thank once again for being part of the program today. Have yourself a good one, and all the best. Join us again for another edition of To The Point. That's why I say goodbye for today's edition.